I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC News Break. The long lines of frustrated customers trying to pay for driver's licenses at the Barbados Revenue Authority could soon be a thing of the past. Finance Minister Chris Sinclair says government's efforts to improve its revenue collection systems by creating an integrated online platform will help to alleviate that problem. According to him, relief could come as early as the end of the year.
That calls for a settled, easy system across all of the tax functions: land tax, licensing, income tax, VAT, and so forth and so on, because each of them has almost like a separate system. So the idea is to get a common platform where all can operate across one tax system, and you have one taxpayer ID, one license, and so forth and so on. Now they're working on that, and the Latin American Development Bank, CAF, is in fact they're here this week with a mission team, because they're providing some financing, grant financing and loan financing for the purchase of a complete system. So we're hoping that we can have all of that in place before the end of the year.
The Finance Minister also commented on the issue of some equipment at the licensing department being frequently out of commission recently.
If the machines are broken down, and my understanding is that there have been challenges with machines, I understand in the estimates of revenue and expenditure for 2016-17, provision has been made for the procurement of machines. The relevant people should procure the machines and get them in place.
The use of a tractor at the Mangrove Pond landfill is a common practice and comes at market price. That is the assertion of Minister of the Environment and Drainage, Dr. Dennis Lowe. His comments came in the wake of questions over government's rental of a tractor at the landfill. Dr. Lowe says adequate research will show that has been standard practice at the Sanitation Service Authority as far back as the early 2000s.
There has always been a case if the equipment at the landfill for some reason is unable to perform the services with the daily services required, that the authority rents a piece of equipment at market price to provide these services. The landfill requires daily compressing of garbage to ensure that the volumetric requirements to manage the rate at which the landfill fills up are imposed through the services of a D8 or D9 Caterpillar or tractor.
A motorcyclist is in serious condition in hospital following a two-vehicle accident involving a minibus and a motorcycle yesterday afternoon. That accident took place along Salters Road, St. George, about 2:30. The minibus was driven by Dion Carter of Good Intent, St. George, and the motorcycle by 32-year-old Nigel Small of Westmoreland, St. James. Small sustained serious head and pelvis injuries. And it was a lucky escape for a Silver Sands Christchurch man who fell into a well on Monday afternoon. Emergency crews, including the Barbados Fire Service, were called in to pull the man out of the well. He sustained minor injuries. He was reportedly standing on a slab when it gave way. The injured man was taken to hospital. People living with disabilities can make a significant contribution to society. This message from President of the Barbados Council for the Disabled and President of the Senate, Senator Kerry Ann Eiffel. She says while the disabled are often seen as a social burden, they have the ability to give back to society.
Too often, persons with disabilities are considered as burdens and as persons who draw from the society. Today's presentation reminds us that when we are given the opportunity, we can give back many times over than what we need to take out.
Senator Eiffel was speaking at the presentation of the 12th Annual Caribbean Catalyst Craig Nurse Memorial Scholarship Award for 2016. Massey Stores employee Janelle Skinner, who is paralyzed from the chest down, was chosen as the winner from a pool of 6 applicants. Runner-up was Tony Wharton, who has been deaf since the age of 2.5. Ms. Skinner thanked the staff of Caribbean Catalyst Inc. for their support of the disabled community.
Representatives from Caribbean Catalyst Inc., you are doing an extremely wonderful job in recognizing the importance of assisting persons with disabilities who are seeking to academically improve their lives. I thank you for this assistance, and I encourage you to keep up the good work.
Ms. Skinner is studying psychology at Cave Hill with plans to become a rehabilitation psychologist. A range of improved security features has been incorporated into the newly designed Barbados passport. These make it more difficult to falsify. The Barbados passport ranks #1 in a listing of the Caribbean's top 10 most powerful passports and 26 in the world. Acting Chief Immigration Officer Wayne Marshall has advised that all previous versions of the ordinary Barbados passport remain valid until the expiry date. Mr. Marshall says the country has always employed stringent measures aimed at preserving the integrity of its passport, including the issuing of machine-readable or biometric-enabled passports since 2004. Time for a break now. When we come back, regional and international news.